Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you enjoyed the conference so far. So today on this talk we'll be talking about the AI tools and how we can use them for app testing. And let's say it will be maybe not fully next talk about how great ChatGPT is, but I will rather try to show you some different tools, rather briefly describe them and how we can use them for our application testing. Before we will go to this topic, maybe we can discuss about something which we know a little bit better than artificial intelligence, so our intelligence and how our brains work. So generally, when we start working, we usually wake up, go to the computer, and we start working. In most of the cases, it probably looks like that. Yeah, we work remotely in most of the cases, or we go via car to the office, and that's it. But the problem here is that we are humans, and our brain was designed not to coding, but to hunting, moving, etc. So to activate it, we rather need to move and cause that the brain start working much more effectively. And having a morning walk is something which can really improve your creativity and improve the way how you think later on. Also, we will be not that sleepy after some time. So if you go to the walk and do this as a first thing during the day, you can achieve first sun, so it stops causing production of melatonin, which causes that you are sleepy, so you wake up, and at the same time you activate your brain. If you would like to hear about more tricks like that, which are really useful for your productivity, you can go tomorrow on the same time to the different room on the opposite side to my another speech, which will be habits of an effective programmer. But today we'll be talking about the AI and how we can use it. So generally, my name is Michal Szczepanik, and I am a solution architect at EPAM. So I work with different kind of products, not only mobile. I have challenges to design the software, design the way how we would like to implement it, and test it. So it's a little bit crazy challenge, and I really would like to automate lots of stuff. My, let's say, career started with the Android. I think it was 2010, so version like 2.1 of Android, or even lower. Probably most of you don't remember even something like that. How old Android it was, I can say that there was even no a password feature in the Android at that time. I also switched to Kotlin when let's say it even wasn't that much popular like it is right now, and also play a little bit with Flutter. So both conferences are really near to my heart. As you can see, also Lego guy. So if you would like to discuss about some Lego sets or need to find some Lego sets which is not in your Lego store, probably it is in my house. Maybe I have more copies of it, so feel free to ask. And I am also a lecturer at university, so talking to the room of people is rather something which I do almost daily basis, but also because I am academic lecturer, I know that most of the people in that room ignore me. So I hope it will be a little bit different here. Okay, so let's maybe start with some discussion. How many of you try already some AI tools for your daily basis work? Raise your hand. Okay, expected a little bit more. Okay. And how many of you at least try to play with some AI tool like ChatGPT or something like that. Okay, more, right? And another question, how many of you is scared of AI? A few of you, that's good. So probably the Skynet is not something which you are scared of, good. I'm really happy to see that, because when I ask students, I think most of them raise hands. So this maybe show that we are this level of expert that knows that AI will not affect us that much, because we are better with it than it. But it can be really good, our companion during our daily basis work, because, come on, the day has 24 hours. Okay, my project manager mentioned, but we also have a night, but this is, let's say, maybe not the best idea. So we have limited time, but we have a lot of the tasks which are time-consuming, but that easy that we generally can delegate them to someone else, or maybe to artificial intelligence, like answer the emails, do some report. Come on, it's not a big challenge. It's time-consuming, but 90% of this work can be done by AI. Okay, what challenges do we have when we need to test the application? So first, we need to know what to test. So potentially, we need to have the application. We need to have some functionalities. Then we need to know how to test. So we need some tools. We need to have some test plans to understand how we will go through this application to test it. And we need to know one thing, which is usually the biggest challenge during the testing. Is this current behavior correct? This is something problematic, and at least in many projects where I was, the person who can answer this, let's say, sometimes even not exist, sometimes exist but is crazy busy, sometimes exist and unfortunately has the same question. So, who can answer this question? One option is to ask a colleague. If the colleague is the developer who implemented it, he will probably say, yeah, it should work like that. I implemented, I'm sure. But after that, we discovered that we have some backup on the production, because this was not something which our user expected. So we need to grab the requirements. And to do this, we can play with our friend, which is ChatGPT, for example, or BART, or whatever, and ask the questions. And here we have this one small challenge. We need to ask a question to this awesome tool about something which is not fully clear for him. Okay, ChatGPT, tell me how I should test banking application. The answer can be really generic and describe in a really general way in the same way how we ask the questions. But if we define the role of ChatGPT, like as a senior QA of banking mobile system, you need to create test cases or test scenarios for application. Here are some basic requirements of this app, usually some of them which we can share with the ChatGPT, because in most of the cases we unfortunately need to fight with IP, need to fight with the privacy, and we cannot share a lot of details about our application. But it can be useful for us to anonymize a little bit these requirements, so remove all names, provide the requirements which don't allow ChatGPT or anyone who will grab this data to identify the features which are really, really unique for this system. And this can be an option to have the list of the requirements. Another list, which is usually problematic, and we need to have it at the beginning of the project, sometimes even during the pre-sale, sometimes during discovery phase, or only for cases when we need to define how some feature should work. For this part, also ChatGPT is quite good solution to provide us some support and generate probably more questions than even we will be able to do this in this short period of time. So we can ask about these kind of questions. As you can see, it's let's say natural way for ChatGPT to show them in some groups, and we can ask this question to the right person to understand how exactly this app should work or how the feature which we need to test should work. So this is one thing, one place where we can use the AI. And the same, much more detailed description for the question or much more context which we provide previously can provide us much better answer. So don't ask about the requirements, requirements for the app which need to transfer the money. It's probably quite big topic. But if we will be talking about, okay, we need to use the SWIFT, we need to process the different types of transfers, so different currencies, stuff like that, it will generate much more detailed questions. So you need to provide some description. Be aware that when you have a chat, if you start new chat, everything what you mentioned in previous one is not considered here. So if you have a project and you have questions regarding projects or some specific topic, it's quite often good to continue the same chat, which has some history and also have a context in which we ask this question. So sometimes you can ask, for example, I do some sort of searching about the materials for the presentation about domain-driven design, and unfortunately I use DDD, which in Polish means also something different, and I use Polish lang with this communication because I expected answer in Polish. But I totally do not expect the answer that it will be not about domain-driven design, but different DD. And how to create the test scenarios, test cases. Here we have, let's say, the same option. So we can also ask ChatGPT for support. What I also recommend you to do, mention some number which you expect, mention, maybe provide me 3 different types of answers, which is really useful, mostly in the cases when you need to be more creative and you need to support to find some different ways to ask. And this is, let's say, good input for you to merge this together to something which has a little bit different visions. And also here, one version from, for example, tester, one version of the requirements for example, from developer, another one from solution architect, and you have, let's say, ready list of questions for the customer. But okay, now we were talking about the testing. Now we are talking about requirements and how to start everything. But what we can do to test our project. And I will show you a few tools, because we have really huge amount of tools which integrate the AI. I will present mostly these ones which are useful for mobile development testing, and also describe you how you can play with the codeless way to, for example, play with the logs, play with the reports, etc. So, first tool, which probably some of you know, is Testim.io, and this tool is something which first allow you to build the test from this kind of blocks of actions, but also because of the AI feature, it allows you to propose some new tests based on your current way of testing. And also, when you need to create some test, you have the moment that the path between state A to B of the testing flow, or rather A and D is, let's say, the same. And you don't need to, and in this tool, you don't need to include the same flow each time. It will really suggest you, okay, you probably need to go to this screen right now, so you need to do this, and that, and one click, it is added. Also, in the same way, it proposes different kind of test. What is quite interesting, because testing is the tool which you can use for testing on the mobile devices also, and it uses daemon on the mobile device. So there is an app which generally do all this stuff for you, like clicking, etc., which has one big feature. You need to test the iOS. To test the iOS, you usually need to have a Mac. And because here we have the daemon on the device, you don't need to have the Mac to test on the iOS device. It's enough to use Windows, and the connection is done with the daemon, and daemon do the stuff on the mobile device. So let's say it's easy way to write a test, record the test, and run everything from your even Windows machine on the iOS devices if you need that. So the blocker which usually exists for testing on iOS disappear with this tool. The other thing which is quite challenging for QAs is the way how we can compare the screens after some changes, or how we should modify test after changes of the screens. And here we have API tools which provide the AI-based testing, but also integrate with all tools like Appium, etc., which is really strong feature of this tool, but also has the visual AI comparison of the UI. So, okay, it detects that the content of these two screens is different, which can be really useful feature, but also can find some issues in your UI, like, okay, something was cut, something is missing, this contrast is not the best. So the features of Google Play Vital are here, and but with much bigger details of checking. So you run the application, go through this one time, and you get usually, depends of course on the size of the application, but I can say easily 100 issues which are related to the UI of your application, which you even haven't considered during the development or UI UX designing. So this tool is quite useful because of that, and to be honest, instead of some tools which I use on my own and create on my own, I switched to that one because of the visual AI comparison, which works really, really good. And you don't need to, let's say, design the wheel from scratch. It's already done, and you can use it. The next tool is the Virtuoso. It's unfortunately not something which supports mobile, but rather browsers. And if you have some browser-based web page on mobile, you can quite easily test with this tool. But the magic thing in this tool is the fact that you write a test as a prose. So you write what you need, and you get it, and it's do the action. So if you define the task or the requirements for the task, how something should be implemented, let's say almost copy-pasting to this device, to this tool, can help you to build the test without any additional coding. So it can be really, really useful because of that feature. Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything which works that good for mobile devices. There is a tool called Quarius, which has some mobile support, as I know, but unfortunately, this feature is, let's say, not that good there as here. And the tool which I would like to mention, because we have also Flutter conference here, is AskUI. This one, as you can see, allows us to build the test quite easily, but has one nice feature. It works on each platform, and if we give the same application or almost the same application for testing from Android to, now let's switch to iOS, now to switch to web, now switch to desktop, it can redesign the test according to your needs for this specific platform, so you don't need to implement anything in addition to support most of the tests on different platforms, which can be really useful feature for you if you need to do the testing. So one tool which covers everything, and as Flutter allows us to write the app for almost all platforms, AskUI allows us to write the same code for testing and run it on different platforms. So if you need to support iOS, Android, web, desktop, this is the only tool which, maybe not the only, but one of the tools which you should consider for testing of it. There are also different kind of tools which I can recommend for you, like Mabel, which is good tool to test the API and do the test together with API testing, because it has really good integration. Quarius, which I previously mentioned, and Perfecto Scriptless, which also provides some nice features for QEs. If we do the test, or generally run the applications on some CI/CD, we run the tests, usually we get some logs. And having the Sufficiency, which has this which is the beta feature of Sophie, and based on OpenAI, we can get the output, what exactly failed in our system, in more human-friendly form. So it will be described what exactly this crash log or error means. This can be useful if you have this, let's say, type of the customer who, when he sees the red build or some fail in the test, usually calling you immediately and ask what happened. This what happened is described to him quite easily. So he know, okay, this is something where we planned to have a change, just so probably, okay, they are working on something and this is, let's say, not something critical, which I need to stress on. And the same we can get as an output for the whole testing suite, so testing run. And this tool, to be honest, is something which you can quite easily implement using ChatGPT on your own by providing the report, etc., which can send the email to all people who are interested in what's going on in the project. When they need, for example, after each night we build or on a daily basis, that sum up how stable is, for example, new release candidate, what changed, how many tests were changed, how many functionalities works in different way. And you don't need to, let's say, invest in some tool, but you can do a lot of the stuff on your own. There is a tool called Make. There is some, let's say, a limited number of actions which you can do monthly for free. So it's good for testing of the Make. But Make is this magic tool which you can use to build the codeless solutions, which, for example, take the logs, based on the logs, do the analysis, and provide you the email or the notification what exactly happened on the CI/CD, and you don't need to invest what happened. You can, for example, provide as an input code the logs from Flipper or from Logcat, whatever, flashlights, so some output regarding the performance monitoring tool, and, for example, Charles as a proxy which provide you exact information what's going on the network layer, and based on that, generate some report which bring you the whole information what exactly happened in the application. Also, I started using the AI tools in, let's say, similar concept to analyze the logs what's going on in my application when I, for example, implement the new feature. So it's, let's say, much easier for me to grab them here, get the output, okay, this is something easy to fix, or this is something which require much bigger investigation. So it provides you this information in seconds. Let's say in a minute you have the info what exactly happened, and you don't need to, let's say, analyze the logs, search everything, check, okay, this crashed because here we have the crash, for example, of retrofit, because something was not okay with the data from server. Okay, the data from server, I need to go in different place to check what's going on. And if I have everything checked by the AI, it can help us. It can help to have this answer much faster. So Make is one of the tools which I probably also mentioned tomorrow as a tool for automation of daily basis work, like answer to the emails, do some actions, for example, do the triggers using the emails, etc., or any kind of other things which usually take some time for us. But if you are a developer, and the same if you are a tester of Android applications, in Android Studio We should have some feature which is studio about. Unfortunately, right now it's only in US. So it's like your chat companion during the development who can provide you the information how to solve some things. So you forgot how to set some settings, how to implement something in your application, or generally you don't want to waste your time to do this again and again. It's enough to write, please help me implement the Camera X feature to take the photos in this application, and you get the almost, let's say, ready-to-work code. And comparing to, for example, Copilot, which is our companion during the development, which based on our code provide us proposal how we should finish it. Here we have rather the solution which can help us to find the right documentation, to find right piece of code, or even find some settings which is somewhere in this big tool and we don't remember how to change it. So having that, we can, for example, know how to get the location in different ways. We get some code, but at the same time, we can implement the camera support, which I have mentioned. So we have many options to cover the stuff and implement the things. And I think that AI will be not, let's say, something which can do the work instead of us, but will be really big support for us. And I really strongly recommend you to start reviewing the tools where the AI can do a lot of work. Okay, I haven't seen any tool which can generate, let's say, 100% of tests without any additional needs of text from our side or modifications. But let's say get the level of 30% of tests which we don't need to touch at all because they are good from AI is something which we can quite easily achieve nowadays. Okay, guys. I think around 7 minutes left. So the question for you: do you have any interesting tools which you use for testing or for anything which is AI-based and really change your way of working? Anyone? Yeah?
So we are evaluating Repeato. I don't know if you know this tool.
I heard about it.
Yeah, so it's a complete computer vision-based testing for iOS and Android apps. And it's quite nice because it recognizes patterns on the screen. So you don't have to instrument your app or anything. You just click and it recognizes, okay, you clicked on the button with the text or with an icon or something like this. And then you define what should appear on the screen. And also a nice feature is it allows you to add scripts and using, for example, ADB commands. So you can, for example, send a broadcast to your app with an intent, and then you can assert that or verify that the app reacts to this intent correctly. And it's really super simple because there is no code, basically, apart if you use commands. You can define all the tests just with clicks, and so even non-programmers can create the tests. It integrates also with CI, so it looks quite nicely so far.
Okay, nice to hear. And Repeato, yeah?
Yeah, repeato.app is the URL.
Okay, so as you can see, we have much more tools that I mentioned during the presentation, and it was probably, it will be really, really difficult to describe all of tools which we have on the market, but let's say even short research can allow you to find some solutions. And do you have maybe some questions? Or anyone else would like to share his experience?